Hi everyone, I'm Satomi and I run English-friendly bread classes in Tokyo, both in person and online. Today I'll show you how to make Tangzhong Milk Bread. This bread is incredibly soft and moist with a rich milky flavor. The secret is something called Tangzhong. Tangzhong is made by cooking flour and liquid together until it thickens into a paste. This paste holds a lot of moisture, which is what makes this bread so soft and moist. I had lots of requests for this recipe from my followers, so I'm happy to finally make this one for you. Let's get started. First, let's make the Tangzhong. Add the 20 grams of bread flour to a small saucepan. Pour in 100 grams of milk little by little, mixing well after each addition so that no lumps form. Place the saucepan over low heat and continue stirring. Here's something really important. As the temperature of the mixture slowly rises toward 65 degrees Celsius, which is 149 degrees Fahrenheit, two types of enzymes become most active. One brings out natural sweetness and the other adds umami to the dough. This is why 65 degrees is the key temperature for Tangzhong. However, once the temperature goes above 65 degrees, these enzymes stop working, so please use the kitchen thermometer and watch the temperature carefully. Tangzhong is a method that is very popular in bread baking around the world. Interestingly, it is not commonly used in Japanese home baking, but it's a wonderful technique and I'm excited to show you how it works. Once the mixture reaches around 65 degrees, which is 149 degrees Fahrenheit, it will look like smooth paste. At this point, remove it from the heat right away. Transfer the Tangzhong to a container and cover it with a lid. Let it cool completely and keep it in the fridge overnight. Just make sure to bring it fully back to room temperature before using it. Now let's talk about milk temperature. Our goal is to keep the dough temperature between 26 and 28 degrees Celsius, which is 79 and 84 degrees Fahrenheit after kneading. This is the ideal range for the yeast to work well and for the gluten to develop properly. Since my kitchen is a little warm, I use the milk straight from the fridge. Please check the description below for more details about adjusting temperatures. Lastly, bring the butter to room temperature. It blends in the dough smoothly. Now let's mix the dough. Add all the dry ingredients to your stand mixer bowl. For soft and airy crumb, use bread flour with 12 to 13% protein. The sugar can be granulated sugar, brown sugar, or cane sugar. Pine salt dissolved more evenly into the dough, so I recommend using that. If you're using instant dry yeast, you can add it directly to the dry ingredients. If your yeast needs to be activated first, please do that before adding it. Give the dry ingredients a quick stir with a spatula to combine them. This helps them absorb the liquid evenly. Then add the Tangzhong and milk. Again, roughly mix everything together with a spatula. Then attach the dough hook and place the bowl on the stand mixer. Start on low speed until all the flour is hydrated. Then increase to medium speed and knead for about 10 minutes. I use speed 4 on my KitchenAid for medium speed. At first, the dough may stick to the bottom of the bowl. That's completely normal because the gluten hasn't developed yet. Please don't add extra flour at this stage. If you do, the dough can become too stiff later and the bread may turn out dense instead of light. If the dough sticks to the sides, just scrape it down and keep going. After about 10 minutes, the dough should look smoother and slightly stretchy. Now it's time to add the softened butter. Start mixing on medium speed. Once all the butter is incorporated, start the timer and knead for another 10 to 15 minutes until the dough is smooth and elastic. To check if the dough is ready, do the window pane test. Take a small piece of dough and gently stretch it by moving your fingers in a zigzag motion, rotating as you go. If it stretches thin and becomes see-through without tearing, the gluten is well developed and the dough is ready. If it tears, knead for a few more minutes and test again. Let's strengthen the dough using the slam and fold method. Slide your fingers under the dough from the side. Lift the dough and gently slam it onto the work surface. Then fold it over to stretch the surface. This step helps build stronger gluten and also reduce the thickness of the dough. Do not use the tip of your thumb, as that can damage the dough. Support it with the base of your thumbs instead. Repeat this about 20 times. Check the dough temperature. If it's between 26 and 28 degrees, which is 79 and 84 degrees Fahrenheit, it's perfect. If it's lower, fermentation will be slower. If it's higher, the dough proofs faster, so always keep an eye on the dough. Now it's time for the first proof. Shape the dough into a tight ball by tucking the sides underneath to create surface tension. This tension is very important. It helps the dough stretch well during proofing and rise well in the oven. Place the dough in a bowl seam side down and cover with a damp towel. Let it proof in a warm place until it expands about 2.5 times bigger. Now that the dough has expanded, for this dough, proofing took about an hour in a 35 degrees, which is 95 degrees Fahrenheit blooper. Your time may be different depending on the temperature of your environment and the dough. To check if the dough is ready, do the finger test. Lightly flour the surface and gently press one finger into the center. If the indentation stays and you can see small bubbles on the surface, the dough is well proofed and ready to go. If it springs back and there's no bubbles, give it a little more time. Now let's divide and shape the dough. Lightly flour the surface and gently press down to release some of the gas. You don't need to remove all the air, just deflate it a few times. This is an important tip. The side with the finger indent is now the top, and we want to keep that surface facing out from now on whenever you shape the dough. Turn the dough out onto your work surface. Weight the dough and divide it into 3 equal pieces. Before cutting, gently shape the dough into an oval, then make your cut. This keeps the top surface wide, making it easier to roll the dough into a ball while keeping that surface facing out. Shape each piece into a tight ball. Apply a little flour to your palm and degass the dough. Flip it over and fold it twice while keeping the top surface on the outside. Then place it on your palm and tuck the sides underneath while rotating the dough. Again, surface tension is key here. Cover with a damp towel and let the dough rest for 20 to 30 minutes until it feels relaxed and soft. While waiting, lightly grease your loaf pan with butter or oil. It's time to shape the loaf. Dust the surface lightly with flour and gently press out the air. Roll from the center toward the top and bottom. Flip the dough over, then fold both top and bottom sides toward the center so they overlap a little in the middle. Rotate 90 degrees and apply a small amount of flour on both the work surface and the dough. Roll the rolling pin to flatten gently. Lift it up once to loosen the dough and roll it up from the top into a swirl. Make the first fold tight, Then roll it up while keeping tension on the surface. This helps the loaf rise beautifully in the oven. Pinch the seam closed. Place the roll seam side down in the pan. Make sure the ends of the side rolls face towards the center. This helps the middle roll expand higher during baking. Cover the pan and let the dough rise until it fills the pan. Make sure to preheat your oven to 170 degrees, which is 338 degrees Fahrenheit, before the glue finishes. Now that the dough has expanded, lightly sprinkle water on the surface and place the pan in the oven. Bake for 30 to 35 minutes until golden brown. After baking, gently tap the pan to release steam. Take the bread out and let it cool completely on a wire rack. The loaf should have a beautiful even golden crust. If it's too pale or too dark, adjust your oven temperature next time. Every bake is a chance to learn, so don't worry about any imperfections along the way. Once completely cooled, lay the loaf on its side and slice from the bottom corner for a clean cut. This bread is soft, milky, and absolutely wonderful on its own. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit subscribe for more bread recipes. Leave a comment below and tell me what bread you'd like to see next. Happy baking, and I'll see you in the next video.